Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of our series, Crazy Like Jesus. What we've talked about in the first 2 parts of this series is the Father's love. That the Father's love compelled Jesus, filled Jesus, and then compelled him to love in such a way, to act in such a way, to do things in such a way that did not fit what was acceptable in society. When he met with the Samaritan woman at the well, when he stopped the Pharisees from stoning the woman caught in adultery, even when he turned over the tables for love of his Father's house. So obviously when he died on the cross, okay, he did things that were almost daily, pretty much every day, totally out of the norm, compelled by love. We're saying he was fueled and driven by love. What we also have to talk about, though it can be difficult, it can be uncomfortable, is that Jesus brought truth to the table. The fact is that Jesus believed things that he believed to be true, and he shared those things with others, and there are people who were following him who the Bible says stopped following him when it got to the point where they could not accept what he believed anymore. And this is kind of mind-blowing for me, because you got these followers, okay, who are following Jesus, and they see his miracles. They see him loving unconditionally. They see all the things that he's done, because we know he did many, many more things than are written in the Bible. So if he stopped the Pharisees from stoning the woman caught in adultery once, he probably did something similar to that and loving like that many, many times, right? If you talk to the Samaritan woman at the well once, he did something similar to that many, many times. So they had been inundated and overwhelmed and totally aware of how incredible Jesus was, right? I mean, I don't know another way to explain it, but they were totally aware of the awesomeness of Jesus, right? He could heal, he could love, he could do anything. And you just look at him and you go, dude, you're like the coolest dude in the world. Like, I want to be your friend forever, man. I love you. You're awesome. And yet, when he shared certain truth with them that they just could not grasp in their minds, and they grappled with it, and they said, man, I cannot understand for myself how this can possibly be true. I cannot possibly agree with you on this point. They left. They walked away from the healer. They walked away from the guy who loved people better than anybody. They walked away from the guy who fed 5,000 people, right? I mean, they walked away from the guy who walked on water, right? How do you walk away from that guy? And they walked away from that guy simply based on the fact they didn't agree with certain things that he believed, with his truth. Here's the interesting thing about kind of operating in this idea of crazy like Jesus. We absolutely have to be compelled by love and unconditionally love people, right? I unconditionally love my daughters, right? I unconditionally love them, but I also bring truth to the relationship, my truth to the relationship. I say to them, Annabelle, you've got to respect me. You've got to, and I need to respect you, but you need to act in a certain way. Also, when you cross the street, you need to look both ways. And no, you cannot eat ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's not what we do. That's not healthy, right? That's not the best thing for you, right? I unconditionally love you, but I also bring to the table, I bring to our relationship this kind of, it's like the other side of the coin, this other half, where I've got things I believe. And even though you, Annabelle, might think that life should be lived differently than what I believe, you can believe whatever you want, but you're my daughter, so you can't do it, right? You can believe whatever you want. That does not change that I love you. I still totally love you. And it doesn't change what I believe truth to be, right? So as we want to step out and kind of live, hopefully you do. You want to live crazy like Jesus. You want to live out of the norm. You want to live in such a way that society goes, oh my goodness, you must be compelled by love and filled with love and driven by love because you're loving so well and never seen anybody love that well. They said that about Jesus. But they also said about Jesus, there are people who said about Jesus, whoa, you do love really well, but you have hard truths. I mean, that's the wording in the Bible. You have hard truths. You have something that is hard for me to accept. I can't believe that could be real. And Jesus didn't say, you know what? Unconditional love means that I just accept whatever you believe. No, Jesus didn't say that. Jesus said, you know what? but this is the truth. In fact, Jesus said, I am the truth. Not me, but Jesus, right? Jesus said, he is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through him. He said he's the only way, right? He kind of stuck to his guns. He stuck to his foundation, right? He stuck to his truth. And I just want to wrap up by saying, if Jesus had come and he had unconditionally loved, but brought no truth to the table, no belief to the table, no mindset and thought and foundation of this is who I am, this is what I believe, this is what I say, this is how I say the world works. If he hadn't brought that with him, along with that love, then the love wouldn't be there either, right? Love doesn't exist without truth in the relationship, right? I mean, just like me with my daughter, right? If I just say to her, I unconditionally love you, do whatever you want, then that's not really love, right? I've got to now I can still be wrong, but I've got to bring to the relationship some sort of belief. I've got to believe that you should look both ways when you cross the street. I've got to believe that ice cream 3 times a day is just not a good thing. Because otherwise, if I don't choose to believe anything and don't bring that to the relationship at all, even if it means they walk away, even if it means they say, you know what, then your love's not really real, then I've still got to be able to say, you know what, my love is real and it is unconditional, but I still believe this truth. That's what Jesus did. And I don't know exactly how to do that. I don't know how to do that certainly as well as he did. But I know that it is a key tenet to living out of the norm, to living crazy like Jesus. You've got to know that you love unconditionally, compelled by his love, but you've also got to know what you believe. And hopefully that's based on his truth and what he believes and what he teaches you. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye.